Our kickoff today, courtesy of Orlando Pirates coach Jose Ribeiro, speaking about squad rotation, something that has got a lot of Orlando Pirates fans bothered a little bit. So we thought we'd let you know that's his feelings on squad rotation from a conversation, of course, that we had yesterday on Soccer Zone. But welcome to it. It's Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. There is currently a game underway right now. I was actually just trying to find it. I can't seem to find it on the telly. SuperSport United being led by Golden Arrows at the moment. 53 minutes have been played and it's 1-0. It's 1-0. I'll keep you updated as that goes along. Our big conversation today is in and around the World Champions. The World Championship. They were happening. We're all excited. We're watching. It was such good times watching the World Championships. We got to see Lyle. We got to see Richards. We got to see so many great athletes that are taking huge strides in the world. But how many of you knew that South Africa had sent a contingent of 36 athletes to the World Championships? 36 is the amount of people that Athletics South Africa paid for to go and represent us at the World Championships, where the best are, to see where we are and where we rank. We came back with 0 medals once again. 0. 0 medals. Guys, something's broken. Something is broken. Never mind society, because that we already know. But something is broken. Don't bring politics into it. That we know. But in our sport, something is broken. We're going to speak about it. Olympian and former 400-meter hurdles, LJ Fanzeo, is going to come on and we'll have a word on it. Hopefully we'll be able to cross to Trompis as well. And if the president will pick up our call, the president of Athletics South Africa, we did warn him, we'll do that. But first up, Shaun Bartlett. Welcome to it. It's SABC Sport and Metro FM bringing you Sports That Amplified with Andile. Tomorrow, the coach, Hugo Bruce, will be sitting with myself and Velile Mnyandu as he gives us his latest squad. So I look forward to that. We'll talk about it at 6 o'clock. That's going to be happening in and around 12 o'clock. Then we'll bring it here and have a word on it. But the big conversation today, and I want you to get involved in it. Perhaps you know better than I do, because I see a lot of you already tweeting about it. 086-000-2160 and WhatsApp on 060-552-7303. We'll be doing that at 18:45. Athletics South Africa, 36 women and men from South Africa go represent us at the World Championships, where the best of the best are getting ready for the Olympics even. And we come back once again with 0. Let's have that conversation. But right now, though, I want to speak to one of our friends of the room, really. Always enjoy conversations with him. Coach at the moment at Cape Town Spurs. Not at the moment. Coach, actually, at Cape Town Spurs. Coach Shaun Bartlett now joins us. Coach, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, Andile. All good. How are you?
I'm very well, Coach. I was thinking about you over the weekend because with Lyle Foster scoring a goal, I figured he's just entered that exclusive members-only club of South Africans who've scored a goal in the EPL.
Yeah, it's great, obviously, to see one of our own doing it at the highest level in the EPL, which, in my opinion, is obviously the best league in the world. Some of the best players. Hopefully he can get a lot more, and obviously like ourselves, get their first win under the belt at Burnley.
You're preempting my conversation. But were you able to see the goal? I mean, what a way to start.
Yeah, no, obviously he used his physique, his physical presence, and obviously the left foot, when many people probably say it's his weaker foot, but, those are things you have to work on as a professional, and he showed the quality there.
I guess he's, 23 off now to get to that magic 24 number?
Yeah, I think, for him, it's, like you said, work in progress. I think the only advice I always would give to him is to ensure that he constantly work and be better than the day before.
Oh, awesome, Coach. Shaun Bartlett joining us now for a conversation, Coach, at Cape Town Spurs. Coach, I mean, the last time we spoke, was pre you going into the playoffs, and then after that to congratulate you as well. Rather rude awakening and not such a stable entrance into the DStv Premiership for you and your side. No, not at all. I think there's a lot of factors involved, and it's not making excuses, but between the last playoff game and the start of the preseason and this season itself, we didn't have much time, and that's what I've always, said it's a little bit of disadvantage, the playoffs to the NFD side, because
And that's why most of the time the second-tier side don't get through the playoffs. It's mostly the PSL team. But yeah, we made it. And, you know, I've spoken to management as well and said, you know, we've never had a real preseason. So if you want to put it in that way, that the first 3-4 games is preseason and we need to obviously get points on the board starting tomorrow night, that's the way we have to look at it. There wasn't much time or much activity in the transfer window either. So those are all small details that we all know. In order for us to get to the next level and compete in the Premiership, we need to increase in every aspect.
Why is that, Coach? Why is that there wasn't much movement as far as the transfer window is concerned in bolstering your squad perhaps and getting it ready for the next level, so to speak?
Well, I think by the time, obviously, we started pre-season and we started looking around and inquiring about players, also the fact that we weren't in a position to buy players, so we had to look for loan players most of the time. And there obviously are rules. You cannot loan more than 3 players per window or 5 players for the season. So I think that obviously limits my selection as far as players are concerned. But in saying that, now we have got to make do with the players we have and coach them and improve them and make them better in order to get the results we need.
Do you have the understanding? I mean, I saw the very strongly worded statement that came from Cape Town Spurs yesterday in defense of those that I hadn't seen anything, but apparently there are those that would started rumors about Shaun Bartlett potentially losing his job because of the results. But do you have the buy-in of the board in understanding what you've just explained now as well? Is this something that you guys are all in acquiescence of?
Well, that's from what was explained to me, especially after our last game, the loss on the weekend against Chipper. Again, disappointing in a sense where obviously we dominated the last 2 games against Polokwane and Chipper, and not coming away with the result. And obviously it shows just that final third ruthlessness that we need, being more clinical. But the board is, very supportive at this moment in time. But we all know it's one of those fickle jobs as a coach. If you don't get results, your job in your head will always be on the line. So irrespective of, how long the club has been waiting for to be in this position in the DSTV Premiership, you've got to make the best, and the only way you can do that is results.
Coach, are you a little bit worried though, at all? If even because
No,
I'm just listening. I'm just listening to the way you put it, which is true, and you can't run away from that. It is a very fickle job if you don't get the results. Is there a goal that's been set to say, hey, let's revisit this conversation maybe after 5 games, after 7 games, or have you set yourself some sort of goal like that?
Well, I've said to the club, listen, first season back in the DSTV Premiership, everybody wants to be successful. We want to exceed expectation. But the best case scenario for this club would be 14th place. We want to stay in the DSTV Premiership. That's the ultimate goal. And to ensure, obviously, we have longevity as far as this club being in the Premiership is concerned. So we need some platform to build on. Obviously, not the ideal start with the 4 games thus far, but I think the signs in the last 2 games have been really encouraging and positive. And like I said, once we get that first point on the board or first win on the board, I think our players will really feel a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, and then obviously also recognize that we're capable of actually handling ourselves in this level.
They normally say that you need experienced players in order to get into the DSTV Premiership. Teams that come from under need to acquire them, but you've got them. I mean, from Nazir Ali that you've got, Clayton Daniels that you've got there, and we could go on with Keegan Buchanan as well as part of your team. There is a lot of experienced players, or a handful at least of experienced players. Where do you think you're lacking at the moment?
I think, the balance is pretty reasonable as far as the squad is concerned. You've mentioned Keegan, you've mentioned Clayton, we've got Nazir, we've got Michael Morton, Jared Marul. We've got endless experience. It's obviously combining that with the youth that we have, but the major factor for us at this moment in time is not being clinical enough in the final third. The last 2 games, we created over 15 chances per game, and you end up with 1 goal and 0 goals. So again, it shows me there's a lot more work to be done. And obviously, everybody knows as a former striker, that's something I pride myself on, is scoring goals. And that's one thing, obviously, our players need to do in the next couple of weeks.
You're looking at a game tomorrow. Surely one of those that needs to be the corner that you guys need to turn as far as victories are concerned, for morale as well, etc. You're playing Swallows.
Yeah, Swallows will be a very difficult outfit. Coach Steve always very well-structured team. We also know they're very attacking, so we've analyzed that, and we've got to utilize what we have in our team. And like I've said, the last couple of games have shown that we can attack, we can create. We just need to, on both fronts, keep a clean sheet and then try and convert one of those chances to come away with a victory.
There's a very thin line between being realistic and being motivational. When a Shaun Bartlett, who is my leader and my coach, says, as a team, we're going to be lucky, and we're aiming, perhaps I'm misquoting you here, and you can correct me, Shaun, for 14th position. That's what that's what we're comfortable with. That's where we are. A part of me then says, hey, I can lose a couple of games. Yeah, I wonder what that does to the psyche of the players, knowing very well that, and I don't want to say low balling that is, but it is quite low.
No, of course. Like I've said it before, and I've indicated as well, you always want to be successful and win things. I might say 14 players, but there's nothing that's taking it away from us to be in the top 4, top 5. But it needs that first game, it needs that first point on the board in order for that confidence to come back and for these players to really believe that the job at hand is not easy, but it's possible. So it's not all about motivation, it's also about showing these players, what we have in our squad, how we play, and what we have to do in order to get results. I think that's the realistic part as far as the squad is concerned.
I then think, based on what you've said again, the next window is going to be an important one for you. And then I wonder about the club finances. Are you at a club, coach, that has got the muscle come the next window to be able to, you didn't this time around, but do you have finances that's going to enable you to go out onto the market and compete in the market?
Well, everything is based on obviously attracting sponsorship. I think there's not many clubs in this country that can say, they've got an endless budget where they can just go and get players. I think the loan spells obviously is the one that most clubs are benefiting from. And we're trying to obviously, splash some cash around and attract better players to come to the club. But it's very difficult when you don't find those type of players. And I think that's where it makes my job a lot more difficult also as far as assembling a more stronger squad is concerned, but the management has been supportive. Whenever we've needed something, they've tried their utmost best, and sometimes you can't ask for more.
Coach, listen, we wish you the best to get you. We wish you the best even now moving forward. Tomorrow's going to be a big game. We'll be watching, we'll be reporting on it, and we hope that you turn the corner at some point.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support.
Always love having you on. Thank you so much. That's the coach out of Cape Town Spurs, Shaun Bartlett there. One of those coaches that puts it as it is. One of those people that, will answer your question, regardless of how difficult it might be. And we appreciate him for that. What are your thoughts on that? We'll take your calls, of course, top of the hour, just before top of the hour on 086 000 2160 060 552 7303 for your voice notes. 1845, those come in. There is a game currently underway. I'll check the score for you now. When you come back, I'll let you know. But the question still stands. Did you even know that we'd send 36 athletes to go to the World Champions? You might have not known because you weren't seeing them in the finals. You weren't seeing them on the table. You were not seeing them, picking up medals. 36 of what we call our very best. Wait for Ncube. Came last in the event that he's the world record holder on. Akani Simbini. This was a man that, we said to ourselves, with Usain Bolt gone, surely he's going to be in the top 3 now. No, it wasn't to be. Our relay team, we've said for so long that relay team is going to compete with the Jamaicas, with the USAs, with the Great Britons. Come on. Something is broken. It's broken. It's broken. Something's broken. Let's take a break. It's exactly, need to turn around for this one. 28 after the R6 on the My Team Metro FM. Do you have anything to say about the conversation we just had with coach of Cape Town Spurs, Shaun Bartlett? Please tweet us. Hashtag, it is, Sports Not Amplified with Andile. Okay, cool. It is Sports Not Amplified with Andile. That's the hashtag that we're going with so that we're able to see them and able to read those out as well. And you can also give us a call at 1845 on 086 000 2160. WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. I woke up a little hot under my collar, man. And I was waiting for the World Championships to end. I was waiting for them to end so that we can come back and have conversations. Because I knew that athletes, I saw it with Banyana. Even though they're away at competition, they're reading our tweets, they're reading and listening to everything we're saying. I don't ever want to be the reason why somebody doesn't do well. I don't ever want to be the reason why somebody wakes up and they're like, oh, people were saying this about me. So let's let it end and then go into it. It's not always going to be like that, but I think let's wait. At the moment, SuperSport United being led by Golden Arrows by 2 goals. 2-0. Lungelo Nguse and Van Rooy scoring those 2 goals. It's 2-0 at the moment in that game there with 72 minutes played. That's what it is for Gavin Hunt and his team, who are chasing, of course, atop the DStv Premiership. Mamelodi Sundowns on 15 points. If they're unable to win this, their game in hand would have given them nothing. So therefore, there'll be 5 points adrift on Sundowns with the same amount of games played. Golden Arrows will join the top 3 with 10 points as well if it ends the way it is. So, the conversation we wanted to have. Let's get into it. I've got LJ Fonseca with me, former Olympian and 400-meter hurdler. LJ?
How are you?
I am not well. Because I saw my green and gold being worn by 36 athletes, but I didn't see any of them on a podium. I didn't see any of them in the top, you know what I mean, in positions where I thought to myself, we're getting somewhere. If anything, I felt like we're regressing. We're going back.
Andile, you're 100% correct. We only had 3 athletes in the final. That's White van Niekerk, javelin, and pole vaulter. It's very disappointing. Definitely expected more, all of us. We also started on a low note.
Hold on, LJ. Before you go on, you're saying of the 36 athletes, only 3 made it to the finals.
That's unfortunately correct. Very disappointing. We had high hopes for our athletes and very disappointing world champion. In fact, I think this is one of the worst, if not the worst, world championships that we ever experienced.
Why? I don't even why, LJ? Why? Why are we here? Why are we such a badly performing team? Why are we so horrible? And there's no nice words to put on it. Why are we here?
If you ask me, put me on the spot, I think our national champs, the SAs, is too early. We had it this year, 31st of March and the beginning of April. It's way too much. Then you have the whole April, it's just too long, the whole May, June, July. Then you want to have world champs almost 4 months later. The athletes also need to qualify too early. And I think it's just too early. The athletes are tired. You can clearly see some of the athletes after the heat, they are so tired they cannot even perform in the semi-final. That's my one point. The second point is we are still a semi-amateur sport. Half of our athletes, this is not their jobs. They all have a second career that they have to focus on just to make a living out of the sport and to pay the bills. We have our top 400 hurdle athlete. He wasn't at the World Champs, Sokakana Kazini. He's injured. So even if he's injured, it's so difficult to come back. There's plenty more. Taylor Beal, youngsters that need to perform, but if you're injured, it's so difficult and financially doesn't make sense to even carry on with athletics. The third point is we also need to invest in our coaches. Our coaches are, let's call it, they're coaching for a hobby. And now we want to expect us to compete against the Brits, Jamaicans, Kenya, Ethiopia, United States, where they are paid coaches, financial support, not money in their pockets, at least just cover their medical expenses, psychologists, medical. That's the finest stuff we need to be more focused on.
LJ, I want to play a clip here from Akani Simbini, something he had to say after the relay game, and we'll talk about the race. We'll talk about that relay race in just a bit. We just grabbed it, we just got it now, so I'm hoping that the clarity and the sound quality is good. Just let's have a listen to what Akani Simbini had to say.
We're always just coming to championships figuring it out here at championships, and then speaking the same thing. Last said was the same thing. Come to championship, figure it out here at championship, and we always talk about fixing it, making something better. Federation says, yeah, but what happens? It's all talk, and for me, I'm one person that always keeps quiet, but I think like now it's just coming to a point where South Africa needs to know that the federation does not help us, does not bring us together.
The federation, he says, we speak to the federation, we tell them that it's broken, we need to fix things. They say yes. He goes on to say, I'm not a person who normally speaks, and he's correct in that. But he's tired of keeping quiet. The federation is the problem.
Yeah.
Athletics South Africa.
I've listened to the interview of Akani Sibiling. One of his opening words was, we can win this. The relay he was referring to.
Because we've got a very strong relay team.
Yes, we had a strong. We've got Shaun Bartlett, he's starting in the United States, Benjamin Richardson, Akani, and Lux Adams.
I mean, Shaun Maswangari is training under Carl Lewis even. Yes,
and we also have the luxury of Sinesipo Dambile. He's as a reserve, so we've got quality athletes, and that's only the 4x1. I'll get to the 4x4 relay now. And it's 100%. We cannot expect to pitch at the World Champs, have a session or two the day before, and then expect to be on the podium. And realistic, it happened last year. It happened. We dropped the baton also last year. So. Anakon is 100% correct. They just need time together. They need training camps, and we've got a strong team. We've got 5-6 guys close to the 10 seconds. If you look at the 4x4 guys, we've got Life Pillay, Zakiti Nene, of course, the world record, the weight for Ncube, Gadeo Isaacs 45-1 at the national champs, and also we have Tumisang Chezi, who also dipped below 46. There's almost 6 guys. That's quality. In the past, we've won medals with only one athlete that ran below 46. If you look at India, they in the final they only got one athlete below 46. If you look at the Dutch team, Botswana, they all in the final. They getting the results because they preparing. They make effort for their training sessions as well.
And I hear you, and I agree with Akani to some, extent, because this is his lived experience. You've got one that's in the USA. You've got a couple of guys here. He's never in South Africa as well. He's traveling. They don't get time together. The 4 of them, or the 5 of them, including the substitute, to be able, the reserve, to be able to train together. But the experience that they have to drop the baton twice in 2 championships, come on, take some responsibility.
I agree 100% with Akani. Yeah, it's very unfortunate, and I watched the final. It was heartbreaking to see the athletes, and Akani was ready. He looked super sharp in the semi-final when he caught the athletes from behind and he closed the gap. I was hoping for a medal for the team, also for Akani himself. He was disqualified in the 100. And he hasn't got a world championship medal yet. So I thought this is maybe his chance, but that was not the case.
How do we fix it? Is it fixable? Because it's definitely broken at the moment. You send 36 athletes, only 3 make it to the finals. Nobody comes back with a single medal, not even a bronze.
Yeah, yes, it can be fixed. Paris, the Olympic Games is less than a year from now. We need to have a meeting with the coaches and have a clear plan that everybody buys into this plan. Competition, medical assessments, relay camps, relay squads, and start investing financially in athletes. Not money in their pocket, as I said. Start helping the coaches and be more professional. And let's hope, fingers crossed, Paris will be better. Hopefully, in a year from now, we're going to have the same conversation and say, yes, we've got 2-3 medals, and something changed. Remember, we did perform in the past at the Olympics. We got back with 5 medals, Semenya Wade, and also Sunette Viljoen. So it is possible. We've won relay competitions. Edmonton in 1999. Daegu in 2011, when I was very fortunate to be part of the team. So it is definitely possible.
I don't know. You've got more faith and more hope than me. Between now and Brazil, you think that it's possible that we can medal. Where are those medals going to be coming from? Because the people that you speak to me about, I saw Wade. He looks far from what he used to be. You saw how he finished. He was even hard on himself. Custer has not quite been herself either. The changing of discipline is something that she's had to get used to. I'm not seeing where these medals are coming from.
If I can, Akani is definitely not done yet. He's still hungry to be on the podium at the Olympic Games. My opinion, yes, Wade had a terrible World Championships, but if you look at all his times, his 8 fastest times this season, he went 44-1, and if he ran that time in the final, he could have won the gold medal in front of Watson from Jamaica. So I don't think he's done yet. And then athletes like Adrian Wilskett, the 10,000 athlete, I think he was in position 13, I think. And also during the season, he broke the ESA record. And then hopefully the 4x1 relay squad, Shaun Bartlett, Benjamin, Clarence Munya, and Akani, that's definitely a possibility. If they have chances to train together, as Akani mentioned, there's hopefully 3. That's only the men. The women, Marina Free just missed out on the final in the semis. The 900 vault, I don't think it was a good idea for her to double the 400 hurdles, and the 400 is just too much of racing. And then Marinda Kusia was disappointing. Prudence Segediso crashed into Akin Mu. That was just a freak accident, and I think she's definitely got the tools to be in the final and in the top positions in Paris next year.
Well, you have more faith in me, like I said, and I know they're listening. Athletics South Africa and the president, they're listening to this show right now. They didn't want to come on because they said, they need to sit down and formulate what it is that they're going to say to the public of South Africa, who should be outraged at this, who should be mad at this, who have every single reason to want a change within Athletics South Africa and the way they do their things.
What I can also recommend, bring the old athletes in, like myself, Khotso Mokoena, bring them in.
I know Khotso, I think Khotso's there already, if I'm not mistaken. I remember speaking to him. But I mean, you can bring everybody you want in if your organization and your organizational skills in getting things together. I mean, something as simple as if people are going to be running the relay together, getting them together enough for them to be able to have some sort of synergy amongst each other. If you can't do that, you can get Carl Lewis times 10. Yes. Michael Johnson, you can get all of them. But if you can't get that right, there's nothing that's going to help.
It will be difficult, yes, 100% correct.
El Difference, thank you so much for having this conversation with us.
Thanks, Andile.
Embarrassing. That's what it is. Hey, look at that. It's 18:43. In 2 minutes' time, we start with your calls. Do give us a call on 086-000-2160. You heard our conversation with Shaun Bartlett. He's the head coach out at Cape Town Spurs. He's playing Swallows, Moroka Swallows tomorrow. What do you think of what he said? Says they'll be lucky to finish 14th, and that's what they're looking at, a 14th position. And he went on to tell us why that is the way that it is. Let me see now what the latest as far as the score is. 3-0. Golden Arrows have scored a third. It is currently 3-0. Golden Arrows have scored a third with just, 3 minutes in regulation time to play. It'll be a mountain just a little too high for SuperSport United. You can almost bank on those 3 points. There is a later game this evening at 7:30 with Orlando Pirates taking on Cape Town City there. Tomorrow, some games as well. We'll talk about them. Stellenbosch and Kaizer Chiefs, Richards Bay, Sekhukhune, Polokwane City, Mamelodi Sundowns, AmaZulu TS Galaxy, Richards Bay Royal AM, and the one that we just alluded to now, which is Moroka Swallows, as well as Cape Town Spurs. Yeah, let's go to you guys, because I clearly don't know. I don't know. What are we good at? What sport are we good at? Yeah, we've got the rugby. We've got the rugby, and we're proud of the boys. I mean, there was a sense of pride and joy watching what happened over the weekend with New Zealand. But what else are we good at? What are we really good at? What are we good at? What are we good at? What's the one thing we're world champions at? Like, we're so good at it. Because let's do that. Yeah, amapiano. Yeah, us chive in. No, us chive in. If that's what it is, then us chive in. Are we good at TikTok? I'm not TikTok. Are we good at TikTok? The show's got TikTok, though. You can follow us on TikTok. Then us TikTok in. Because clearly everything else We're not. And I don't want to say that we're not in terms of the talent that is available in this country. I just think those that are in charge of managing that talent, those that are in charge of growing that talent, those that are in charge of making sure that that talent competes with the best in the world aren't doing their jobs. They aren't. That's just my thoughts. Let's go to your voice notes. Let's hear what you think.
We gon' get connected. WhatsApp the Metro FM studio. 060-552-7303.
Andile, good evening, my brother, and all Metro family listeners worldwide. Now, I think the reason South Africa is not doing well is because school sport is dead. And when you look at Akani Zimbene, Wade van Niekerk, and others, they have done it. I think they've done their part in the past. So,
what is their part? What have they done?
They could have done it again, but I don't know what they lacked. But the thing is, they have done it before.
Done it where, Moses?
Thank you.
Done it where? Where are the Olympic medals? Where? Show me. Where have they done it? Maybe it's just me. Please, show me.
Mina for our SA team at the World Championships, for mina kubi. Gonagele kubi. Yeah, money, 36 and then no nothing. But by the way, man, I'm happy for the boy from Botswana. That boy is doing marvelous. He must keep it up, and he's still young.
He is where Akani was at some point. He is where Wade was at some point. And, you know, the freak accident with Wade will forever be that big thing. But I ask about management there as well. You know, who okayed a world record holder, the best athlete in the world at the time, to go play touch rugby? What management, what association said, oh, that's great, go for it? Come on.
Hey, Andile, Sianda in Cape Town. All I can say is that we're a very patient country. This team has been underperforming for some time now. It's not a surprise where we are now. I mean, if you check the last few events, I mean, it has been a build up to this catastrophic performance we see. I agree with you. There's nothing really to expect for the world, for the Olympics here.
That is definitely a good word to use.
Hey, Lipara. Hey,
it's been a while, later.
Ngizoba short, my brother. Hey, ngiwaridi ngoShaun Bartlett. Makathi now, emagemeni I think ayi-4 asedlaliwe. Ufuna ukuba number 14. Emagemeni awu-4. Already lo muntu uvika izembe. Ngiwaridi ngabo. They must as well just pack the bags and go back, because if ucoach uthi ufuna ukuba number 14 ngalesikhathi, there's nothing abayidlalelayo. Then in my team iBakani, I mean past 7 ngicela ubuke na Andile sihappy thina solonge nacala intepeni iBakani. Uzobona na maswangani le pasa Mfokeng ehene bantu ebaningi ohlatisa.
Appreciate that, Zul.
Hi
Andile, Upindile la from Orlando.
Hi Pindile.
You know, with our athletes, there's no enough competition here at home. So if there is a competition amongst them, Milana, and then we see these competitions live, maybe they will perform better outside the country. Yeah, man. You know, outside. We don't know them inside like a country.
How?
And then those young boys or girls from Kolweni University, competition then we will see. And then the SA Sports, they must do something, pay those athletes so that they can perform.
What is it, rugby?
If you don't give them incentives, anything,
rugby, cricket, football. What other sport is formalized and is professional in this country? Because I can think of the top 3, yeah? Rugby, cricket, football. Is that it? Because in my mind right now, I can't think of anything else. Maybe you can help me and tell me which other one is formalized. South Africa got no medals at the last 3 World Athletics Championships. Come Paris. Listen to that. At the last 3. How guys? No. Something's wrong. Then let's not go. Where are we going? Where are we going? And those that say school sports, I don't get that. Because, and maybe I'm speaking from a privileged point of view, because I go to schools where my kids go to, and I see a thriving sporting culture. Call me. Tell me about where your kids go, or where you go to school if you're young enough to still be in school. Is there no sport at your school? Let's take Peter in Brits very quickly, wanting to speak about Shaun Bartlett. Take a break and then come back to Usia Temba calls out Ulisa Sandile and Nukatleho. But Peter.
Andile.
Hey, you listen to Shaun Bartlett?
Yeah, now I've listened very, very much well. I opened my eyes. But it seems like, Andile, there is a problem in that team, you know. If the coach now can say, no, if you can finish position number 14, what is that?
He says it's being realistic.
Yeah, it's very realistic. Well, why, like, it seems that the towel has been already thrown. Because, Andile, to run football, if a club team is not like a pap and face. It might happen that the management of the team does not have enough money to buy players, because you can't just in 4 games, 3 games, then already say, no, if you can finish in this position. No, that is not how the football must be. Because, Andile, no. I always disagree with what they've heard.
Peter, I've got to take a break.
Burnley FC's plan is vivid. They want their visitors, Tottenham Hotspur, to travel back home empty-handed.
Who's he got in the middle here? Foster looks to have a shot. Wide of the target. Great from the South African.
While Spurs are confident their game plan is good enough to triumph against the Clarets.
To the penalty area here. Salah! With his biggest moment yet for Tottenham Hotspur.
Catch the thrilling Premier League meeting between Burnley FC and Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday, 2 September at 3 p.m. Live on S3, also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. # We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
We stay connected.
Fabulous.
No matter where you are or where we are. Metro FM. It's where you're at.
To all of those listening now and watching via Facebook, Danger Nkwebe, I see you. Abuti T-Man, I see you. Zulu Kona Futnailana, Sabelo Chola, Mabrigado Official, I see you. Paganil Kulu, Danger Nkwebe, once again there. Hunadi Mulema, Kahobona Hudadi, Kichishiba, I see you as well. Lee Mohale, I see you. And all of those that are watching us now on Facebook. Thank you so much. Every single day we broadcast a show live on Facebook and you can watch it. I know Nadeem is watching as well. So Nadeem, always watching here. Can't wait to hear what the guys say about Shaun Bartlett's conversation. But Peter, just first, you were finishing your point. Sorry I cut you off. Oh, I think Peter's gone there. Let's move on. Oh, Peter, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can now. You're just completing your point.
Yes. It is the money that has been given to the coach to take team to the DSTV, because we can't just lose this hope now and say, no, from 14 position we'll be right. No, that is not how football must work. No, I think he's gonna be fired anytime soon. Not because of what he said, because of maybe it was the mandate that has been given to him by the management or the chairman.
I mean, most teams do come in the DSTV Premiership and all they want to do in their first season is survive, Peter. So if he was told just survive, that is 14th position, isn't it?
Yes, but Andile, as a coach, he must be motivated by adapting, maybe buy players.
But you heard, if you listen to the conversation, he can't buy players because, they don't have the money to. He's loaned the players that he can loan in already. And, he just doesn't have that financial muscle. But Peter, you make some good points. Thank you so much. He's out in Brits. Let's go to Xolisa. Xolisa's in the CBD in Johannesburg. Wants to speak about the mess that is Athletics South Africa.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm all good, man. Xolisa, shoot.
I'm very well. This was our worst performance ever. I've been following our athletes over the past few years, and this one is the worst. If you check, if we had 3 athletes only making it to the finals out of 36, that tells a story, Brandi.
So sad.
And I always believe that preparations is always the best way to go. If you go to an event of such magnitude unprepared, then
these are the results.
Exactly, Brahma.
No,
exactly.
we're reaping what we sowed. I hear you completely. This is what we put in, so therefore this is what we're getting out. And it doesn't have to be from the athlete's end as well, holistically.
Yes, it's a combination of all these things. I looked at Wade van Niekerk, and I said, man, something is not right. And as what it is, I do not know, because this was not the weight we all know in 400 meters. You go,
100%.
You go and look at he was disqualified for a false start, and this was for the first time in his professional career as an athlete. And you ask yourself, what went wrong? I think our preparations were not spot on, Ma'a.
Olisa, out in the CBD. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sitemba Koza's out in Pretoria. Sitemba, are you as embarrassed as I am?
Andile, how's it, my brother?
Yeah, no, man, I'm good, man.
I'm not good, and I'm not happy. Look, Andile, not to waste your time. Let me just shoot straight into the point.
Please.
The problem in South Africa is here. The administration is in shambles. You talk about the organization level, there's no leadership. From the schools, if you look at rugby, people that come from the school level, you got those craving requirements where they do all those
privileged
things. Yes, people when they are already at 13 years, 15 years, 18 years, you know exactly that in 5 years, 6 years time, these people will be representing Springbok.
Yeah.
So right now, for myself, I am a social runner. I started running at the age of 27. You cannot expect me to perform like someone who got a proper development from the age of 10. I cannot right now. I love running so much, and I run so well according to my standard. But I cannot compete with the guys who got the proper coaching from the age of 11, 12. So in South Africa, when it comes to the administration, when it comes to taking the coaches, putting them in the right place, people that are in leadership in South Africa, especially in sports, I can tell you now, Andile, they do not care. They only care just about what is going to go to their pocket. They don't care about athletes. They don't care about all these things. There are no incentives. There's no motivation. There's no structure. There's nothing. If they can be structured, we know that people who are 12 years, 13 years, those people who are training them, we know that in Olympic 2020, these are the objectives that we're setting for ourselves. We're training these people. When they get there, themselves, they're used to doing all those things, all this training, and they will perform at that level. Until right now, that is never going to happen.
I appreciate you. Katleho, you're the last one. Please, go for it.
Hey, Andile. First of all, I think you guys are so hard on Wade van Niekerk because an ACL injury is bad. The likes of Fernando Torres had the same injury in football, and they never really recovered.
I mean, I did say that, the injury, I did mention Wade's injury, but what I'm hard on is not the injury. What I'm hard on is who says to a world record holder, the best athlete, the star boy of athletics in the world, it's okay to go play rugby.
Yeah, that's another.
That's what I'm mad at.
Yeah, I just want to also reference quickly. 2011, Usain Bolt false start in the final of the World Championships. It happens, guys. Stop being so hard on Akani. You want to get the perfect start. It happens in athletics. One last thing, Andile. Money. You cannot expect these people to go perform against people who've got world-class equipment, world-class...
Does Botswana have world-class equipment?
We do have those, but not everyone has access to it. Only a few have access to those type of things. For instance, LJ Van Zyl mentioned who's been out injured and he can't get back into it because he doesn't have the fees to pay his medical bills.
Katleho, I can't wait for you to be a regular. It seems we're going to have great conversations, you and I. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, thank you so much for the conversation. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll have great conversations once again. Thursday is our big one with Cynthia Chaka. We throw it back to a career well lived. Where is she now? What is she doing? We'll have that one. And of course, on Friday, the podcast guys come in. Nadim, Mkonza, as well as Pro Pilane. From myself and my entire team. Etimi, Olapara, Joe, Pela, Nganzo, me.